like it still might find your hands, even though I know you're busy in a world with new demands. It's a ritual of memory, a song that doesn't play, but the ink still brings you closer, so I do it anyway. I write to you anyway, like a habit of the soul, like a lighthouse for a shipwreck that never had control. You may not feel it happen, but in quiet shades of gray, I still hold you gently, and I write to you anyway. I write to you anyway, though you'll never see a word, though your inbox isn't waiting, and my voice won't be heard. It's not forgetting answers, it's just the only way to carry all this silence, so I write to you anyway, and I write to you You laughed at my bad jokes, I saved every single one. You told me all your secrets like they weighed less in the sun. I memorized your coffee, the way you liked your shoes, and still I never told you that I had too much to lose. I was the quiet echo you never quite could hear, and every time you looked at me I smiled through the fear. You'll never know I loved you, I kept it deep and slow, like letters never written in a language you won't know. I chose to be your safety, even if it broke me too. You'll never know I loved you, but every line was true. You talked about your lovers and I nodded like a friend, but each word stepped so softly that I couldn't even bend. I said you deserve someone while screaming it was me, but I left it all in silence like a message in the sea. You weren't meant to carry it, so I never made a sound. I just let my love go nameless while you never looked around. You'll never know I loved you, but it lit my every day. Even when you left me, I still hoped you'd stay. Some stories aren't for telling, some hearts stay overdue. You'll never know I loved you, but I did, I always do. You'll never know I loved you, but it lit my every day. Even when you left me, I still hoped you'd stay. Some stories aren't for telling, some hearts stay overdue. You'll never know I loved you, but I did, I always do. We were sitting on the rooftop eating fries out of a bag. Your hoodie smelled like lavender, the sky was turning black. You looked at me like sunrise, held your breath like it was new, and with a voice that shook like thunder, you whispered, I love you. the syllables like time forgot to move. It wasn't grand or polished, but it was quietly true. The first time you said it, I heard it in my bones. It filled the air with magic, like I finally found my home. You didn't need a candle or a perfect point of view. You just looked at me and trembled, and I knew it, I knew you. We never made it easy, and love grew wild and wrong, but I still play that sentence like a half-forgotten song. Sometimes I think you meant it, sometimes I think you lied, but either way that moment still holds the brightest light. We broke 100 pieces, but that one still remains, a flicker in my memory when nothing else explains. The first time you said it, the wind began to hush. My name sounded like sunlight in the space between the rush. You never had to prove it in everything you do. I still carry how you meant it the first time I heard I love you. I found your shirt behind the bed, still folded like you left. It smells like cedar, warm and faint, like autumn's final breath. I held it like a memory, too fragile to unfold. The sleeve still bent like habit, the cotton still feels bold. I told myself I'd toss it, but I couldn't move my feet. It's not the cloth I'm clinging to, it's the parts of you it keeps. Your shirt still smells like you, like laughter in the sun, like Sunday spent in silence, when we swore we'd never run. It's just a scrap of fabric, but I breathe it like it's true. Your shirt still smells like you, and I don't know what to do. I wear it when it's raining or when the world feels thin, like I could slip through moments and maybe fall back in. It doesn't bring you closer, but it keeps the ache at bay, like keeping one light on in a house where ghosts still stay. I've washed it once, then stopped myself, afraid I'd wash away the final trace of something that never learned to stay. Your shirt still smells like you, like dusk and mystery plies, like notes you never finished, or truth behind your eyes. I could burn it, I could box it, but that wouldn't make me No slammed doors, no warning, just the end of intertwined. You smiled like nothing and it said, take care and kiss my cheek. And I nodded like it's normal to forget what we don't speak. It didn't break or burn, just faded like a tune. Still I hear it now and then when I walk under the moon. You left and it didn't hurt, not really, not at first. But I still set an extra plate like memories athirst. It wasn't tragic, wasn't loud, but silence has its own sound. You left and it didn't hurt, but I still feel you around. You packed your books with care, folded every shirt just right. Left behind your toothbrush, but not a single fight. No wire, we can't make it, just a quiet kind of close. Like autumn leaves that drift and don't explain the pose. Sometimes peace is heavy, like the weight of what we lacked. And though you didn't wound me, I still flinch when I look back. You left and it didn't hurt, but absence stains the light. I clean the windows weekly, but they fog up every night. You walked out like a whisper, but left a ringing in my chest. You left and it didn't hurt, but I still can't rest. You weren't the one I ended with, but you shaped the one I am. Like a river carving canyons in a place I didn't plan. You taught me how to listen to the quiet in my chest, and how to walk through endings without holding my breath. We broke like falling leaves, soft and full of sound, but I still carry lessons in the roots beneath my ground. You changed me, thank you. Even though it tore me through, even though you never knew, you helped me find the true. I won't rewrite the ending or wish you would renew, but you changed me. So thank you. I stopped needing answers and started asking less. You showed me how to let go without needing to impress. You weren't meant to stay here, but you left behind your light. And now I bloom in places that once kept out the night. Not all love's meant for keeping, some's just meant to spark. And even if you're gone, you left your mark. You changed me, thank you. For the words you never said, for the way you held my silence when my soul had too much dread. You were never mine forever, but you helped me make it through. You changed I found your sweater folded at the bottom of my drawer, and suddenly the silence was louder than before. You didn't leave with drama, no suitcase at the door, but every day you vanished just a little more. I thought we'd have a moment to make the ending clean, but love doesn't ask permission to fade from what it means. It's too late to say goodbye. The goodbye already came in the space between our laughter that never felt the same. You left without a send-off, just slipped into the sky. Now I'm here rehearsing closure, but it's too late to say goodbye. We never had the breakdown or final night of tears. You just stopped reaching softly and disappeared from years. I still write drafts I'll never send, with truths I'll never speak, like how your name still echoes in the corners of my week. I thought I'd see it coming, some rain before the storm, but endings aren't so formal, they just stop being warm. It's too late to say goodbye, though I practice the theft. It's not the loss that's aching, it's the absence of the theft. You left without leaving and took what wasn't left. I turned the key myself and closed that final door. Packed the dreams we once believed in and left them on the floor. You stood there like a statue, eyes full of something deep, and I said what I had practiced, but it didn't help me sleep. They think that leaving's freedom, but no one tells the truth, that walking out can haunt you like a photograph of you. I was the one who left, but I still feel the cost. I chose to lose your presence, but I didn't count the loss. I whispered we're not working, with a voice that cracked in theft. Now I live inside the silence of being the one who left. You didn't beg or follow, you let me do what's best, but sometimes grace can hurt more than a selfish protest. I told myself it's mercy to stop before we break, but love that ends in kindness still leaves a quiet ache. I miss your worst intentions, I miss your scattered shoes, I miss the way we argued like we had too much to lose. I was the one who left, but I carry you each day, not in guilt or grand delusion, just in what I didn't say. I walked because I had to, but the echo hasn't left, and there's no pride in freedom when you're the one who left. I laughed at all the right times, said what you'd wanna hear, learned your favorite phrases, and kept my real thoughts clear. You held me like a trophy, but never saw the cracks, and I became a portrait you hung then turned your back. You said I was your mirror, but I was playing just the same. They love the mask, the charm and all the grace, the answers that I tailored to keep me in their place. But now I'm done performing, I'll let the silence ask if they'd have stayed at all had they not loved the mask. I saw your name in photos that I wasn't meant to find, smiling with new people like we'd never crossed our lines. You laugh a little louder, wear colors I never saw, and I wonder if you practice or if you just forgot it all. They say healing isn't linear, but you make it look so clean, while I'm still folding letters that you left inside my jeans. You moved on first, left me in the static. I'm replaying what we were while you're out living cinematic. And I'm not saying you owe me, but it still somehow hurts to be the one still aching when you moved on first. You changed your hair completely and started writing songs. I still hum our old playlist, pretending nothing's wrong. I don't blame you for the timing, but I wish it had been slow, so I could catch my breath before you fully let me go. I want it to be better, not just someone you outgrew. But now I'm just a question that you never meant to chew. You moved on first like it didn't weigh a ton, while I'm counting conversations you already called done. Maybe I was background to your brand new universe, but I'm still stuck on yesterday. Well, you moved on first. You knew the way I smiled, but never why I cried. You loved my loudest laughter, but ignored the fears I hide. You liked the way I kissed you, but not the thoughts I kept. And every time I opened up, you turned your silence left. You called me your safe haven, but never asked my name. Just projected your reflection on a face that didn't claim. You never knew me, you just loved what you believed. An echo of your longing, a story you conceived. I gave you all my shadows, but you only saw the hue. You held me in your daylight, but you never knew what's true. I told you about my mother, how I flinch at You said I was your favorite, the only one you saw. You look me in the mirror like love without a flaw. But shadows told a story that never reached my name, and I danced inside illusions while you played another game. I held your hand in daylight but never saw your night. You gave me love in pieces, then disappeared from sight. You loved me without the truth, and I believed the dream. I held your words like scripture while you tore the in-between. You kissed me with a secret, you held me out of proof. It felt like something sacred, but you loved me without the truth. Your phone was full of silence and laughter I didn't hear. You told me I was everything, then vanished once a year. I blamed myself for doubting, then begged myself to stay, until the light revealed you'd never meant to stay. I wanted something honest, but you painted over flaws. Now I sleep inside a fiction that never had just 'cause. You love me without the truth, with hands that held to light, with stories full of answers that didn't match the night. You wore a mask so tender, believed it was your proof, but now I see the ruins of a love without the truth. You love me without the truth. You love me without the truth. You loved me without the truth. I'd been like reading rivers till I couldn't find the shade. Gave you every second sunrise till I started showing breaks. I let my dreams go quiet so you'd never feel alone. Tried to make my love a cushion while I shattered on my own. You never asked directly, but your silence wrote the role, and I stepped in without thinking while it hollowed out my soul. I gave more than I had, like a well that never filled, like a flame that kept on burning, though the wick was nearly killed. And you smiled like I was glowing while I cracked beneath the glass. I wasn't being loving, I just gave more than I had. I skipped my own reflection curtain slowly. Try painting over gray, but something in this quiet won't ever go away. I play my record softer, avoid the songs you knew, but your laugh still lingers in the air between the flutes. It's not that I still need you, it's not that I can't move, but even empty places hold the echo of your truth. Your voice still lives here in the walls and in the floor, in the way I say the weekday, in the squeak behind the door. You left without your suitcase, but your melody stayed near. I've packed away your memory, but your voice still lives here. I call your name unconsciously when I find something you lost, then catch myself in silence and remember what it cost. You once sang in the hallway, now I hum the same refrain, and I wonder if you notice when I whisper through the pain. You're gone in every picture, but still framed in how I see. This room forgot your body, but it never emptied me. Your voice still lives here in the way I close a book, in the silence before dreaming, in the time I dare to look. I've rearranged the furniture, but you're still somehow so near. You left the home we built, but your voice still lives here. We laughed the most in thunderstorms, found rhythm in the gray. You kissed me best in downpours, then dried your heart away. Our love was built in shelters from storms we couldn't name, and every time the sky cleared up, you slowly pulled away. Some lovers bloom in summer, but we were made for storms, found poetry in puddles while the cold You dyed your hair the color you said you'd never would. You moved out to the mountains, got a job you never planned, and every update felt like the slipping of my hand. You bloomed into your future like a garden left unchecked, while I kept pruning moments that you already forgot we kept. You grew, I stayed in the house where we began, kept the kitchen just the same with your chipped ceramic pan. You outgrew all our patterns like old shoes you can't replay. I kept the roots too steady and you grew while I stayed. I scrolled through every photo of your new life filled with light, and wonder if you miss me when the stars are out of sight. You're glowing in your purpose, but I'm stuck in our old shade, still humming our last playlist like the soundtrack never changed. We weren't meant to wither, but we weren't meant to grow at different speeds and altitudes where I just stayed below. You grew, I stayed in the memory of us, in the scent of old shampoo, in a silence I still trust. You became the better version I kept trying to persuade, but in chasing your own sunrise, you grew, and I just You grew, I stayed in the house where we began, kept the kitchen just the same with your chipped ceramic pan. You outgrew our patterns like old shoes you can't replay. I kept the roots too steady and you grew while I stayed. I saw your photo in passing. You were laughing hand in hand with someone wearing sweaters I don't think I'd understand. You look like morning sunshine in a life without regret, and I felt a gentle ache like a song I can't forget. You're not mine anymore, and I don't want you to be, but I still feel the echo of who we used to be. You look happy with them, like the weight is off your chest, and I'm standing in the silence, wishing you the best. I won't write you letters or try to pull you back. You look happy with them, and I'm learning not to crack. I still remember winters where you'd shiver in my coat. Now I see you warm and glow just affected like old water in a cup. You moved on to something better, and I'm trying to keep up. You look happy with them, like peace that's on your skin, and I'm just one of many that your heart has been in. I won't ask for another chapter or pretend I didn't bend. You look happy with them, and I hope it doesn't end. I used to shake like branches at the thought of losing ground, but you spoke in waves and whispers, and I started to feel sound. You sat with all my spirals, didn't try to tie them down, just let the storm surround us till it softened into sound. You never asked for pretty or a version I could fake. You just held the broken rhythm and held my silence ache. You were my calm in the eye of every fall. When I cracked beneath the pressure, you didn't flinch at all. You didn't fix the damage, but you stayed through every song. When the world became too heavy, you were my calm. I used to think of peace as something quiet, clean and neat, but now I see it's messy, with muddy hands and feet. You taught me how to breathe again in the chaos of my chest, and now I keep that echo when I need a place to rest. You left without a warning, but the calm you gave remains, like a map I never asked for that still guides me through the rain. You were my calm when I couldn't calm myself. When the sky collapsed in whispers, you were steady, quiet help. I don't know where you're going, but I still recall your balm. Not everyone who saves us stays, but you were my calm. It wasn't loud or sudden, no storm came through the door, just a quiet kind of distance you hadn't shown before. You asked me how my day was, but didn't really hear, and the space between your sentences was colder than the year. You still smiled in all the right ways, but your eyes were somewhere else, and I realized in that moment I was talking to myself. first time I knew. The coffee sat there cooling. You didn't take a sip, and I watched your fingers twitching like you needed to forget. You spoke about the future, but left me out in tone, and I nodded just to match you, though I felt completely alone. I waited for affection, but your touch had changed its name. The warmth I once relied on now flickered into blame. That's the first time I knew something slipped and never came. The laughter died in corners, and nothing felt the same. You said I love you softly, but the echo never flew. And deep inside I whispered, that's the first time I knew. You didn't slam the door, you just faded like the sea, and left a quiet shoreline where your voice used to be. We never said it's over, we just stopped staying near. You drifted past the morning and I let you disappear. They ask if we still talk now, but I just shake my head. There's no fight, no real closure.